Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. So people will ask me pretty often to bless stuff, right? Because that's what priests do. One of the many gifts that we do is we bless things. But then what happens a lot of times is people say, well, what does it mean for something to be blessed? That is a great question, camper. What does it mean for something to be blessed? Here's my attempt at an answer. When something is blessed, it's made holy. When something is blessed, it is made holy. Now, what is it to be made holy? Okay. Well, in ancient Israel, in the Old Testament, to be holy, here's God's people, the people of Israel, the chosen people of God, were called to be holy. And that was often interpreted in many, many ways. It's a really complex term, right? But it's often interpreted in the sense of that, okay, you're my people, therefore you're holy, meaning you're set apart. That you're not like everyone else. You're holy like I'm holy. God is completely other. And so he's calling his people to be other, to live differently, to be a light in a dark world. So to be holy is not to be perfect. That's really, really important. We need to understand right away. Because if you're called to be holy and I'm called to be holy, that doesn't mean we're called to be perfect. Jesus says, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Yes, that's a whole other thing. Make another video about that. To be holy is not to have flaws. That's why the saints, sometimes people will find out bad things about saints, like, wow, this saint said this thing that was like really makes me feel uncomfortable. Or this saint seemed that they didn't have all their act together. Or this other saint seemed that they were kind of like a bear to be around, like, to work for them was kind of a grind, that they weren't perfect. Yeah, because that's not what it is to be holy. It's not to be perfect. It's to be, so blessed is to be holy, to be set apart. Now, here's the interesting thing. Why did the people of Israel need to be set apart? Because the people of Israel are just like us. What do I mean by that? Because the people of Israel, when they would live among other people, they wanted to be just like everyone else. They wanted to fit in. They wanted to blend in. And that's the truth for us, right? We want to look like everyone else. We just want to be like everyone else. We want to live like everyone else. We don't want to live set apart. We don't want to live differently. We just kind of want to, again, fit in. This is the reality, from middle school to the end of our lives, is we just want to get along. We want to fit in. We don't want to be weird. We don't want to be different. And yet, here's God who says, no, be mine. Not be weird, but be mine, which means be set apart. Here's the interesting thing. To be blessed is for a thing to be made holy, which means for it to be set apart. But not like set apart like in the sense of removed from use. Like, so here's this blessed vessel, like at Mass, right? They have the chalice. That doesn't mean removed from use. It means set apart for a purpose, like elevated to a higher use. So here it goes back to like if you've ever asked a priest to bless your crucifix. You go to the store and you buy a crucifix, buy it on a chain. It's jewelry. Nice, it's nice, and it's beautiful maybe. When it gets blessed, it ceases to be jewelry. Why? Because it is now blessed as holy. It's set apart for a purpose. It's now set apart and elevated to a higher purpose. The purpose of that crucifix on the chain is no longer to merely be an accessory to your wardrobe. It is always, always meant to simply from then on point to Jesus and his unstoppable love for whoever looks upon this cross, right? So it's no longer jewelry. Why? Because it's been blessed, it's been consecrated, it's been elevated, set apart for a higher purpose. So if you ever have anything blessed, it's no longer just that thing. It's no longer what it was you bought it for in the first place. So it's why it's set apart. Now here's an interesting thing. I love the Feast of St. Blaise, Bishop and Martyr, because the feast day of St. Blaise, people come forward and they get their throats blessed. And there's this prayer, and there's candlesticks. It's a whole Catholic thing. Anyways, they get their throats blessed, and through the intercession of St. Blaise, Bishop and Martyr, may you be preserved from all illnesses of the throat, ear, nose, throat, something like this. I usually have the book in front of me. But people get their throats blessed to help them not get sick. Great. But when something is blessed, what happens? It's made holy. It's been set apart. It's been elevated for a higher purpose. And it's always a great reminder of, oh my gosh, my throat has been blessed, which means I can only use it for things that give God glory and help people. Like I can only use my throat for something that will lift people up and give God praise if I use my throat for something other than that, for gossip, for complaining, for grumbling. If I use my throat for curse words, if I use my voice, that now has been blessed now, for something less, then I'm not using it for the purpose for which it has been set apart. Last thing, super cool. If you're a baptized Christian, that means your whole self has been blessed. If you've been baptized, that means that here's a baby, unborn or unbaptized baby or unbaptized adult, made in God's image and likeness, beloved to the Lord, obviously. But if they've been baptized, they've been what? They've been blessed. They've been made holy. They've been set apart, elevated to a higher purpose. They've been consecrated to Jesus, which means every element of our lives as baptized Christians should be to point to the Father and give him glory, to help our brothers and sisters in their daily lives, in their struggles, in their joys, to be able to share, to be able to walk through this life as someone who has been set apart. Again, what's the temptation for us? It's going to be just like Israel. But I don't want to be set apart. Father Mike, why do you make me do this? I want to look like everyone else. I want to live like everyone else. I want to just be like everyone else. But listen, you're not like everyone else. You're his. So you got to live like his. You're not an average human being. You've been baptized. You've been blessed. You've been made holy. You've been consecrated. You've been set apart and elevated to a higher purpose. Now we can either choose to live off that purpose, or we can live on purpose. And I believe that with God's grace, you can do that today, starting today. How can today you live as someone who has been blessed, is made holy, has been elevated to a higher purpose for the praise of his glory? Man, how awesome is that? So, you've been blessed. Be blessed. And I'll say to you, for all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name is Father Mike. God bless. Right? It all comes together.